Through the way we are seated. Thank you for having us, and wonderful opportunity here to talk about the economic corridor that is rapidly developing between the UAE and state of Telangana. We have a very elite panel here with us, so I'm going to kind of quickly introduce them. My first chance to meet some of them. Fantastic kind of experience that they bring. On our extreme right for me and for the left for you, we have Adib Ahmed. Adib is a globally recognized business leader in financial services and cross-border investments. I think he's already been introduced before. But I don't know, in case, some of the people who've joined later, very quickly, founder and managing director of Lulu Financial Holdings and 2014 holdings as well, and leading operations across the GCC, India, and Asia Pacific. So he's definitely one who's actively straddled both the UAE and India, and, I'm sure we'll learn a lot from his experience in both these countries. Next, we have Kavikrut. Kavikrut is the CEO of T-Hub, one of the largest startup incubators in Hyderabad in the country. As Octus and individually have had the chance to kind of be involved with T-Hub since it's set up. It's nice to kind of see your active references to T-Hub as part of this conference. Kavikrut is a Harvard MBA with a background in finance from BITS Pilani, and he brings a decade of leadership experience across global firms, high growth ventures. He led OYO's international expansion, amongst others. And he's now steering T-Hub's mission to build innovation capacity and drive global growth, including UAE for Indian startups. So we're looking forward to hear a lot about that. Then we have Prem Kumar, very nicely dressed here, conveying what he does, where he marries agriculture, the most ancient kind of profession, other than another one that I will not name, and deep tech, right, with drones. So he's an alumnus of IIT Guwahati, and Marut Drones, which is what he has co-founded and the CEO of. So he has pioneered use cases in precision agriculture, in afforestation and public health, including India's first mosquito-controlled drone. Wow, that sounds fantastic. So he's been named as Forbes Asia 30 Under 30 and recipient of the MIT Solver Elevate Prize. At some stage, maybe after the session, I want to hear a little bit about that. And then we have, last but not the least, Sanjay Nikanti, CEO and co-founder of Dhruva Space, which is a full-stack satellite solutions company. So it's wonderful, right? We have from Hyderabad a drones company here and a space company, just demonstrating to us, what the earlier speakers have talked about the rich kind of expertise which is prevalent in Hyderabad. So he's a dual master's graduate under the Erasmus Mundus Space Master Program, and played a pivotal role in numerous satellite missions across Asia and Europe. He's also co-chairing the FICCI Committee on Space and Geospatial Applications. So as you can see, we've got this rich kind of expertise amongst these panelists here. I have a race against time. At the same time, I want to capture as much of the key kind of inputs that this panel has for the audience. Very quickly, I'll just set context. We've heard from the earlier speakers. We've had the CEPA agreement, which was done between UAE and India. Obviously, the Hyderabad and Telangana ecosystem with its expertise as an IT hub, wonderful infrastructure, talent, and a whole bunch of initiatives which has been spearheaded by the state machinery. A very kind of appropriate location for this business and growth expansion which can happen between the UAE and Telangana, plus the kind of investment in space tech. So we have all that going for us. What I've done is, we have about 3 questions for each of the panelists. We'll go through one by one, and 2 to 3 minutes, if they can just quickly reflect on those points and share their experience for us. So I'll start with Adib. Adib, from your vantage point, because you are seamlessly operating across both India and the UAE, what are those notable differences in the startup ecosystems across these 2 lands? And where do you see the greatest potential for synergy between the 2?
Yeah, so both UAE and India has really enjoyed last couple of years of a startup ecosystem. We have seen unicorns being spotted out of from India. We have seen unicorns coming out of UAE. While the graphs were always growing up, we've slightly seeing it plateau at this point of time. But what we have really understood is that India is an economy which is buzzing with human capital. There's wonderful amount of ecosystems. There's enough and more problems at hand to solve using technology. On the other hand, you have a smaller economy, which is UAE, but it's larger in its thought process. Predominantly, why? Because it's an East meets West format, where startup ecosystems are coming out from not just the West, but also from the East, finding out where they could have a great conversation and find out new venture formats where the ease of capital is being easily available. But it comes at an aspect of proving that you have a global approach to every concept that you are taking. So it's not a domestic problem that you need to solve. You need to solve a larger global problem. And while doing that one, we have seen unicorns sprout out from there. It's also been a place where, where new startups have been given fresh mentorship, because you have the legacy players being placed out of UAE as well. And this gives a larger approach for newer companies to come and see, how do we get mentored, and, how do we start that growth process. As we all know, the most difficult aspect in any startup is the first couple of years, and that's where you require maximum number of mentorship. And I think so UAE has become a wonderful place to see that one. And we have seen Indian companies also coming out down there trying to find out. But the larger aspect of Indian companies have always been solving the problems in the domestic market with technology at its forefront.
We've had the fortune to build a very strong foundation, right, of creating an infrastructure which is not easy to do in India. And I think being the largest home for startups also means that we can, help as many as we can. We have also built partnerships across the world now, right, over the last decade. So now the vision for and that includes Hub71 in the UAE at Abu Dhabi. So the vision for T-Hub is actually quite simple. We have built this amazing foundation. We've built a lot of awareness for Telangana, for startups, for the brand. The question is, how do we leverage it now to produce more notable companies, from Telangana for the world, and hence from India for the world. So that's what we want to do over the next decade. That's our goal. I think there's a very important question you asked about how should startups think about UAE and, for in general about international markets. One of the things that over the last decade, because the last decade of 15 years of entrepreneurship in India is primarily driven by internet consumer. That's where all the unicorns came from. So internet consumer, the challenge is always we think of, each market we look at as a market for sales. Right? And that becomes a blind spot for many founders. But over the last, and we have 2 deep tech founders sitting here with us, over the last few years what has happened, and we're seeing organic change in this, especially in Telangana, is there's a lot of activity on the deep tech side. So my message to founders would be that we have to start looking at markets, especially like the UAE, as gateways instead of just consumer markets. All of us already look at the UAE and that region as a gateway for travel, right? All our hop flights are from there. Why don't we also look at UAE as a gateway for three things? One, capital, because there's a significant commitment for capital towards innovation. Second, how do we look at it, as a very clear gateway for strategic sector and priorities? There's a very clear, focus that UAE has shown for climate tech, right? For deep tech, for AI, and of course for, a lot of other sectors that are growing. And I think for space, right? And we've been talking about space, aerospace, defense, all of these sectors as we sit here, right? And also as a gateway to regions. For all of the Middle Eastern region, there's a conversation about the Africa corridor. We have to look at UAE as a gateway. And I think a lot of founders are not doing that, right? To raise capital, to go deeper in sectors, to build technology, and so on and so forth. So I think that shift is necessary in founders' minds, to do that. And we are, as T-Hub, we build partnerships with incubators. So with Hub71, that's what we're trying to do. It's a 2-year-old partnership. There's a recent statistic that 30% of Hub71's applications now are coming from India since this partnership happened.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's also obviously reflective of general, startup activity in India. So as T-Hub, we want to play the role of strengthening that and helping UAE startups, that want to come to India. And I'll say why too. And also for Indian startups that want to use UAE as a gateway, we want to be that bridge and we want to be that enabler. The interesting statistic that we've been talking about GCCs and international companies coming to India is that it's only a few years away where Hyderabad, because of its GCC growth, will become the largest concentration of Fortune 500 companies in the world, if you just think about it for a second. And I think Hyderabad will become a very large market for software technology companies, for startups that are trying to sell innovation to corporates. You could go to New York and sell it to Fortune 500 companies. You could also come to Hyderabad and sell it to Fortune 500 companies. So I think for companies based in the UAE, also that is a huge opportunity. And that's the bridge that we have to build. It's our job. And we are very, very excited for the next decade and the next few years ahead.
Wonderful, Kavi. No, I think there's some interesting points that you've made, including about how Hyderabad becomes the market for the Fortune 500s through their GCCs here. And we'll discuss a little bit more about that in the subsequent set of questions. Coming to you, Prem, you've actually been associated with T-Hub, right? You started your venture there. So just, building on Kavi's point about how T-Hub is that largest incubator globally and doing some wonderful work. So if you can just tell us about briefly your journey and the support that you've received both from T-Hub and the Hyderabad ecosystem.
So is my voice audible? Yeah. So we are a proud Hyderabad company first. So we started our journey and the company is still registered in the address of T-Hub. So we have not changed it. Is because we wanted to be there for, we want to be remembered. It has registered in T-Hub. So it goes back like 7 years back when we have started it. By then, the drone space is very new to India. The drone rules are very new. So it is very, any startup generally, if they have clear thought process, like what sort of support they need and everything, and T-Hub becomes a very extending arm. Like they definitely connect you to the right, the government officials or the corporate partners. So for us, the first few years was, we were trying to meet a lot of people because technology is new, and we were trying to solve problems where we were trying to identify the problem statements we were building it. And in one of our problem statement is on the more of eradication of dengue, malaria using the technology like drones and the IoTs. So and we were working with the government, so we were looking for a lot of corporates who can work with us and everything. That's where we got a lot of corporate connections, and also the state government, like because of the policies which they allow the startups to work with the state governments, not having previous experiences, not having big revenues. So that's where the municipality here has adopted the technology like a drone. Before the regulation has been not created. And the bureaucrats have supported us saying that, okay, we should adopt this. And they have amended a lot of laws. Like example, on lakes and water bodies, you can't use, you can't do unless there's a tribunal kind of permissions needed. So we have started working from 2017 onwards in this space, and without the support of T-Hub and the state government adoption, this, I don't think the company could have not initiated by then. Then after that, we started looking as, can we do more than this dengue malaria? That's where we've scaled to agri. And anything in healthcare and agriculture needs a lot of scientific validation, scientific trials. So again, we went back to the state government saying that the farmers are asking a lot of questions. How much it is useful? Is there a reduction of chemical, water, cost? So that needs a lot of help of these universities which do clinical trials. So we got a grant from NABARD because of the state government, and we started working with academia. And that entire is because of the ecosystem which is available in Hyderabad, which is in first connection. You can reach out to it can be through T-Hub, it can be to your state governments or to the concerned people, and you get connected and you start working towards it. So if you see in last 6-7 years, the momentum which is built in drones. Today, if you see every newspaper, if you see any internet, you'll hear about a lot of drones. So in that way, the drones have scaled not only just defense, non-defense. That's where we see the drone deliveries or drone taxis or using drones in the precision agriculture for food safety, or using drones for your all surveillance, inspection, lot of aspects which has been grown. So when we see this technology, a lot of people from UAE, Dubai, a lot of people have come to India. Whenever come to Hyderabad, through T-Hub and through the state government, they come to our offices, to our facility, and they show a great interest of adopting this technology. It can be for the delivery, or it can be for the more of afforestation. Because we see a greater interest which has come from the UAE saying that we want to increase the green cover percentage. So that's another interesting where the use case which we were doing in India, we felt it is for the India, but now a lot of people are like from UAE or this, they're reaching out saying that for afforestation, delivery, agriculture, they want to use this technology. And also this technology is bringing a lot of employment and the necessity of like how people used to go to work to Dubai or to UAE, other regions for other sectors. India has become a hub for a lot of these engineers who can operate these drones, who can repair these drones. So a lot of people are getting employed in those regions, so because the adoption rate has increased now. So, thank you.
No, that's helpful. No, good to know that some of the problems also that both geographies face are similar, and then the same application can be adopted into that market. I'll come to you now, Sanjay. Again, you've been deeply rooted in the Hyderabad's startup ecosystem. You're also serving as FICCI's co-chair for space and geospatial applications. So what do you see as the city's role in shaping India's private space tech landscape? And any vision that you have around how this ecosystem can evolve?
Sure. I think UAE and India can be like really good partners in terms of exploring space. I think especially Hyderabad is turning out to be probably the space capital of India. I'm really, really proud of how the ecosystem in Hyderabad has supported several Indian space missions, right? I think if you were to just phase out and look at the UAE's journey and India's journey in space, I think there's a lot of similarities that are there. There is an ambition on both sides. And very recently, India has announced its own ambition of having its own space station by 2035. Government of India has announced, programs to enhance and increase its own satellites coverage for India. Coming to the private sector side and very specific to Dhruva Space, I think we've also kind of leveraged this opportunity both from a India perspective as well as from the UAE perspective. T-Hub has been a great supporter of what we've been doing here. The Mohammed bin Rashid Space Center of the UAE has been a great supporter of what we have been doing. In fact, we were incubated by them. And this was like 5 years ago. And most importantly, we've kind of graduated from that. We are scaling the business. And very recently, we've been able to do a full loop, right? So we've been able to build and deliver something, a very critical part for a spacecraft here in India and deliver it to MBRSC in UAE. So we are pretty excited about how this evolution is shaping up. And I think I agree with Kavikrut that, we could leverage each other's capabilities to kind of service not just national interests, but also, global interests.
No, wonderful, Sanjay. And, thanks to both Prem and you, we are getting kind of examples, of the potential that exists between the UAE and Hyderabad, and actual instances of how young organizations are actually, and startups are straddling both environments, which is wonderful to hear. I'm conscious of time. We have about 7 minutes left. I did see that we got a 10-minute kind of an extension. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to merge two questions. I think that's the only thing available to me. So I'll start with you, Adib, again. One is, you entered a kind of a competitive space, right? Cross-border payments, so many large behemoths in that space, and you've successfully built a global presence. So any lessons that you would share from your journey, which is helpful to the startups, the young entrepreneurs, founders out here? And the second is also kind of, keeping in mind the theme of today's discussion. If we imagine a future where, this startup ecosystem, and Kavi also alluded to it, where Hyderabad, T-Hub, UAE, Hub71 all are working together seamlessly, what does that look like to you?
Great. So, Manish, to answer your first question about, what are my learnings on the cross-border space or the industry that we entered into, I think there's only one key aspect, which is customer, and customer. You keep customer at its core, and you build anything around it, you become successful. So
true.
You just have to keep thinking from an aspect of a customer that, what would he feel when you build a new product? What would he say when you build a product? What would he benefit by that product being utilized by him? And the moment you do that one, life becomes much more easier for yourself and for him. So, and if you do that, then you become successful. So I think so that's the learning that we got as Lulu Financial Holding. We've created numerous products across 10 odd countries, and every market that we went inside, we have never tried to give the market what we have built. We have actually built for the market. We've really understood what the customer of that market wants, and we have started to build from that. So every market has its own unique characteristics. Never try to think that one fits all solution works for everybody. Look at the market. Start thinking from the shoes of that customers. There are a lot of cultural aspect. There is a lot of character that are unique to that market. You just have to be careful about all those kind of things, and then you start to build on top of that one. So that's answering your first question. And the second question you said about what could the future hold. I think so the future is already today, and it was yesterday. And it's about what we could do to accelerate. I think so there is a great bridge that is being built between UAE and India. The right answer to that is Sanjay. He just said that he got incubated there and then, he moved down here. So I think so. We don't have to speak about the past. We could think about what more could the future hold for us. How do we accelerate what we have built, and how more we could get startups from this side towards being using UAE as a gateway to much of the world, as how Kavi has actually put it through. I think so. It's a wonderful concept. I mean, UAE has always been a bouncing pad to many markets. And that's how entrepreneurs in UAE view UAE as well. It's a great gateway to Africa, Central Asia. Of course, from the West, we say that it's a great market into the Indian subcontinent. I think so. It's been a well connected, and what many of us take it for granted. It's one of the very few cities. In fact, one of the few couple of cities in the world that has a connection to over 100 destinations on a direct flight. Virtual currencies to come inside, to use of bitcoins to come inside, transaction. Recently, we have seen the news of Emirates announcing to the factor that they'll start accepting stable coins as a fact of payment as of 2026, and that's a huge news. And it shows the vision of the leadership of the great nation to saying that we are open to what is the future, and we want that future to happen today. And I think so. Telangana and most of India is also having a mindset of that on. So the bridge has definitely been built. Let's see how we can accelerate it moving forward.
Thank you for those lovely stories. And, like you said, the foundation is in place and we need to accelerate on that. And yes, as UAE having defied the odds and said, hey, look, so what if we are a desert? We can do so much. And similarly here, Telangana, young state, brimming with ambition, a lot of talent. So definitely, kind of worthwhile win-win kind of a combination. Kavi, quickly coming to you. So, you talked about the international market access and how, you want to think about the global markets as T-Hub. It's one of the key value propositions. So, where does the Middle East, UAE kind of fit into this? You already have a partnership with Hub71. So maybe, that is a good catalyst as well. And any particular sectors that you see kind of being the focus there? And then, of course, this kind of the future which starts immediately after this conference where both geographies are working seamlessly. So any particular aspect of that you would like to highlight?
Yeah. Thank you, Manish. Founders know how to build best, so I'll yield time to them. Let me do a quick startup pitch style 30-second answer to your question. I think it's very simple. We are enablers. Our job is to build infrastructure, highways, so that people can race fast on them as T-Hub. Just 3 things is what we want to do with UAE. I think we want to make it friction-free for founders to enable, start, and access this gateway. So we will deepen our partnership with Hub71 on that. Second, there is a lot of access to capital there. We have some of the most amazing innovation happening. We'll figure out via funds, and via other partnerships, how we can drive more capital, right, for founders here who want to go and use UAE as a gateway. And the third thing is, very straightforward. We talked about sectoral focus. There is very clearly some sectors where UAE is going to go deep. Digital assets, Web3, we spoke about it. We spoke about aerospace defense. We want to build strong hubs there so that T-Hub can become good at this as experts and continue to, help founders build the companies they want to. That's it, and I think we'll do as well as we can on that front. Over to you guys.
Yeah, thanks. And very quickly, and I won't speak in between now. So Prem and Sanjay, if you can both just talk about, how you're approaching the MENA region and how you would like to see this startup ecosystem further strengthened. So maybe a minute each for both of you.
Sure, if I can go first. We're looking, we've seen a lot of interest, especially from the MENA region in terms of utilizing the technologies, especially for space and defense built in India. But most importantly, what we're seeing is a tradition to produce locally. And that's where I think some of the, bilateral conversations are helping quite a lot. I think the previous speakers spoke about the CEPA agreement, right? And we've kind of leveraged that and built on top of it. Like we've built in Hyderabad, supplied it to the UAE. Now we want to see how we can create clusters that are very interesting in those regions to support ambitions not just between the two geographies, but globally. So I think it's quite exciting. On that note, we've tested this and we've seen success. On that note, I think I would like to bring to your attention that when we're looking at raising capital to grow globally, we've always looked at specific pockets to become partners in our business so that they can enable us to scale also in those geographies. We've done that with Vietnam, and now we are also doing that with UAE. So we have a leading fund called Editum from UAE, which is joining us as a partner to help us grow, both in India, UAE, and globally.
Wonderful. Thanks for that. Prem, quickly.
There is a greater push for indigenization, what is happening in India, and there is a drones not only domestically, there are a lot of export oriented, and UAE has become a good hub for us to send the next export the drones from India to Africa to the other countries. Is one aspect, and second is to leverage. We can leverage this Hub71 and trying to see the scaling in UAE market, and many founders who are in this drone space are looking at more of raising funds from for the like. Already there are a lot of applications like drone shows are happening in UAE, and a lot of interest into logistics, agricultural, and public health aspects. And we see the technology which has been built in India, in Hyderabad, is definitely can be exported, and UAE can be the base for the export market.
Great. Thanks. As you can see, we had so much to share, but obviously keeping time in mind. So thank you very much. I'm sure each of you had some messages to take back as well. Thank you again.
Yes, dignitaries, request you to please remain on stage as we have the memento presentation. I request Mr. Nikhil Chakravarti once again to please step forward and present the mementos to our esteemed panelists here. Yes, I request Mr. Adib Ahmed to please step forward to receive the memento. Yes, Mr. Kabir Kroth to please step forward. I request Mr. Prem Kumar V to please step forward to receive the memento. I request Mr. Sanjay Nekanti to please step forward. And our moderator for the wonderful session, Mr. Manish Chheda. Thank you for moderating this informative session. It's time for a group photo opportunity. Let's take a group picture. Thank you so much to our esteemed dignitaries, panelists here. Thank you for that wonderful session. With that, we move into our last but one session here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the third panel discussion. We have one more to go. Resilient manufacturing and defense, strengthening strategic supply chains. This is our topic for the session. I'd like to invite our moderator on the stage, Mr. Vishal Kanwar, partner PwC, to please step forward.